Hey Fred, we're going to do a little vlog today about the survey that everybody's been taking for the last 2 months.
Okay.
And I'd like you to kind of make some general comments. Here was the general overall majority made yes to these statements, such as, do you overeat? A good number of people said yes to that. Also, a good number of people said they had indigestion, joint pain. They definitely wanted to, they wanted to feel more energetic and feel younger. So could you just generally comment on, first we'll go topic by topic, about overeating, please?
Yes, that's not a problem, Rory. Well, overeating in our society is it's a common everyday occurrence. Most people, the majority of people today are overeating. Overeating is one of the main reasons why people are getting sick in our society. Not only overeating on each specific meal, but overeating. By overeating, I mean sometimes people are eating too close to the time that they go to bed, and that's a problem. When it goes from daylight to darkness, something happens where your metabolism starts to slow down. It's not a good idea to eat food when your metabolism is preparing you for a night's sleep, and to put food in your stomach is a mistake. Overeating is very evident if you read the newspapers, you read about the national problem we're having with obesity. I think the statistics state that in New York City, 51% of the population is overweight, and I think 42% is obese. That means grossly overweight. So overeating is a real problem. But the real kicker in all this is that food scientists are creating in fast foods an addiction to eat fast foods. They're regulating by control of the sugar, the fat, the salt, the chemicals in the food, preservatives, and the colorings. They're able to establish a chemistry as if it was a drug. People have to become aware how dangerous processed food really is. If they become aware of what processed food can really do to them, most people I think, will take a second look at what they're eating, and will go through that dietary transition when you give up processed food, that it's somewhat similar to a parallel road to people that are addictive to something that's stimulating, or maybe even pharmaceuticals. It's not as severe, but the real problem in our society is the processed food, which causes the overeating, the stress we're under, to make people overeat, where they're medicating themselves, they're tranquilizing themselves, or trying to stimulate themselves to deal with all the stress and strains in our society.
Thank you, Fred. Now, the next topic that came up, one of our questions that really hit hard is, do you get indigestion? And they said yes. So can you help them out with that, the overall healthy journey approach towards good digestion in response to everybody's indigestion?
Yeah, I'm very happy to do that, and this is another common occurrence. Here's what we have to take a look at, in my opinion. The average person today that's eating a standard American diet is expending between 60 and 70% of their energy to digest and metabolize their food. That's totally unnecessary. When you are a relatively healthy person and you're not overeating or eating moderate amounts of food, and you're making an attempt to eat in the proper combinations, you're probably going to expend 10 to 15% of your energy to digest your food. That means you could have 45 to 55% more energy to carry out your day's activity and go through the mental activity you have if you're working at a job that requires a lot of, like a computer scientist or a doctor or a nutritionist or anybody that has to spend any type of a business where you have to use your brain. Mental activity takes a lot of our energy. People don't realize it. Sometimes mental activity under stress is more consuming than physical activity as far as energy is concerned. So we've got to take a look at our lifestyle. This is all about lifestyle. We have the information available today where we can be superbly healthy and get very rarely get sick. But we have to be open to this transition. Getting people to change is not easy. But once you're into it, you start on your own journey, it becomes easier and easier. And you don't have to do the ultimate approach, what people consider the ultimate approach. You could start this journey one step at a time. For everything you eliminate, that's not conducive to a healthy physiology. There's a reciprocal amount of improvement.
Great, thank you, Fred. And the third point that was really coming up was, do you have joint pain? And a majority of people said, yep, I got joint pain. Have Fred, give me some feedback on that, please.
Well, joint pain today is, it's not uncommon at all, even people that think they're healthy. Again, just to make it basically simple, that comes from overeating, improper digestion, that comes from inflammation. When you're overeating, improper digestion, you're not secreting enough enzymes. Of course, the enzymes are anti-inflammatory. The human body produces about 3,000 different types of metabolic enzymes. The metabolic enzymes are catalytic proteins. Every function in your body requires a catalytic protein, requires a metabolic enzyme. Even like digestive enzymes. Digestive enzymes are converted from metabolic enzymes. So if you're overeating, you're not eating high quality food, you're definitely going to end up with inflammation. Inflammation can settle just about any place, but majority of the time it settles in your joints. When you have inflammation of your joints are supposed to be able to have full range of motion. When you have inflammation in your joints, you lose your full range of motions. Everything tightens up. Everything gets a little more jammed together. So in the process of getting inflammation from what you're doing, you also will get more inflammation because your muscles are tighter. Anybody that's into yoga knows when you stretch out and you're eating a halfway decent diet, you drink enough water, they feel so much better, their pain disappears, the inflammation goes away, they have a better range of motion because there isn't that much inflammation, so their muscles and their tendons are able to stretch out and cause less pressure. So joint pain, so-called fibromyalgia, which to me I don't agree with that type of analogy of what's going on in the human body. But if you get into a healthy lifestyle and you know how to approach this, unless you're a bone on bone, you have a severe case of arthritis. I mean, in a lot of cases, people that have joint pain that comes and goes for an undiagnosed reason, they can't find the reason. It's only a matter of 3 or 4 days or a week or two where that pain goes away. And what happens, a person like that exercises will find out if they're eating the right type of diet and doing it correctly, getting enough water, they'll have a lot less muscle pain and joint pain when they're doing the right type of a diet. Not only that, they'll have a lot less pain from an injury. Like, people that know me found out when I had a couple of very serious injuries and nobody could believe that I wasn't in a lot of pain. I really was not in a lot of pain. And of course, I use my systemic enzymes, which are great anti-inflammatories.
Thanks, Fred. And in closing, for our last minute here, people made comment on about feeling their age. They would like to feel younger. They probably think they feel older, and they feel tired. So could you just please give us a last minute in closing here about how that might respond into your healthy journey, please?
Well, listen, I have no doubt in my mind. I don't make outlandish statements. I'm not dogmatic. I'm very, very conservative because I don't like some of the controversy that's going on out there now. Where there's so much, everybody seems to be on a controversial collision course, and sometimes the whole discussion is not a good idea. So what I'm telling people, you definitely can slow down the aging process. Humbly, I'd like to use myself as an example. I'm 80 years old, and I must say honestly that I feel better now than I did 15 years ago because I'm taking more time to rest and paying more attention to what I'm doing, taking care of myself, rather thinking I had to be the all things to everybody and just go on and on and on. So there's no doubt in my mind that you could grow old and much slower and be physical active in every single way and be enjoying life. I have no doubt you can enjoy life, be physically active into 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and on up. That's the purpose of my life right now. I believe I'm in a critical point, not only for myself, but for other people that are watching, see what happens with me, because a lot of people want to see what's going to happen with me. And right now, I'm planning for my future, and I'm not, the reason I am planning for my future because I feel right now like I have a pretty long future. And that's my honest opinion, what's going on, and just watch what happens. That's all. Let's see what happens. I'm curious what's going to happen either.
Great, Fred. Thank you very much. And don't forget to check out our new survey coming up, Developing Your Spiritual Muscle and Knowing the Enjoyment of Your Healthy Journey. Thanks, Fred.